garden lovers. Today in my backyard I'm going to be starting the process of making moldy leaf mulch. Delish. I've heard from a lot of different gardeners and farmers online that leaves can be a great mulch and also potting soil for your plants if you leave it sitting and molding for long enough. But for me, I think I'm going to leave my mulch sitting probably until April. So it's January now. It's not quite January. In a couple days it's going to be January, so it'll be sitting for a few months. So I think that it will be ready in time for my garden. Molded leaves are actually really great for your garden. They supply nutrients for your plants, worms love it, and also you can use it as mulch, which is what I'm going to be using it for in my garden in the spring. So it's free, which is really nice, free for the most part, and natural, which is really nice, we all like that, and pretty simple to do. So let me show you what you're going to need for the process. It's not really the most important ingredient to this moldy mulch is leaves. So my parents' backyard have quite a bit of leaves still on the floor, so I'm good on that. Got the leaves. Another very important thing you're going to need, let me get it out of my bag, is black trash bags. Any size, but you are going to need quite a few leaves because I believe as they mold and rot that they really condense. So you probably will need a lot of leaves. So yeah, make sure that you collect quite a few leaves. You're going to need, to collect all these leaves, you're going to need, where is it? There it is. You're going to need a rake. So a nice rake. Get ready to rake. It's everyone's favorite job. And you're also going to need some water. I just have mine in a jug to make it easier for myself, but you could probably just do it with the hose too. So relatively inexpensive. You'll just need bags and a rake. That's the only thing you got to pay for. And the last sort of magic ingredient that I'm going to add to mine that you don't even have to add, but it's also really good for plants, and I'm not entirely sure what it adds to the soil, but I'll add that in. But I have some coffee grounds. Once again, not a lot. This is actually from 3K cups that I had in the past few days. So, but coffee grinds or grounds? I don't know. But coffee grounds are really good for your soil. They add some extra special things to it. So I'm going to be adding this into my leaf bag. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is rake up a whole lot of leaves. Wish me luck. Raked up, and what I have here is a nice pile of leaves, and I have the bag held open on like a little end patio table, like the flaps are on the legs of the table. But probably a better idea is getting like a garbage can or a bucket and holding your bag open that way so you could really get into your leaves. So the leaves that I really tried to rake up were Japanese maple leaves, because I believe that maple leaves, don't hold me on this, but I believe that maple leaves they mold and rot a lot quicker, and you can kind of see the reason why. They're very crispy and smaller compared to, say, a leaf like this, which might take longer, so I'm just going to rip that up. But one more tool that I forgot to tell you is these rubber gloves. So I use rubber gloves a lot. So rubber gloves are really good, I think, to use in the garden. Really protects the hands, but especially for this. So as I was putting the leaves into the bag, I was giving them a really good sort of crunch, and I was also ripping. So what that does, it makes more surface area for the leaves to start to mold and rot. So I gave them a good rip and crunch. So yeah, having gloves to do that, important. I should have mentioned that in the beginning of the video, but we're all good. So actually I'm gonna keep them on, I think. The next thing I'm gonna add is my coffee grounds. So I'm just gonna open these up, give them a sniff. Still smells good. I love coffee. Does anyone love coffee? Except the caffeine. I kind of have to stay off the caffeine a little bit or else I get a little twitchy. But anyway, so let's add in the I almost said let's add in the caffeine. Let's add in the coffee grinds. So just put them right on top there. Make sure I get them all in there because they're precious. All right. So those are in there, and I'm just going to make sure that you can get in. Okay, and next, this is an important step. We're going to wet the leaves to get the whole process started and to condense them a little bit. So right into my big leaves, I'm going to pour some water. Really moisten them up. And, oops, sorry. And then I'm going to give them another little mix. I'm going to try to put the ones I just wet on more on the bottom so I can wet more of them. So I just tried to pull some of the dry ones up from the bottom so I can wet them now. Give them another little mix. And I can really smell that coffee. It actually smells good. A little bit more water. That's why the gloves come in handy. You're not getting poked with the leaves and your hands aren't getting all wet. Alright, so that will all kind of get nice and together in that bag. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up tying the bag nice and tight. You can use a twist tie if you want. I don't think I have any. And then, once the leaves are sealed up, you're just going to place them in a sunny spot in your backyard, probably a little bit out of eyesight if you still use your backyard in the winter, and just let it sit in the sun. And I might open the bag maybe in a month or so and maybe add a little more water or see how it's doing, or if I collected more coffee grounds, I will open it up and add those coffee grounds into it because I really want to add those in. I think they'll be a good addition to the garden. But yeah, just keep them in the sun, let it do its thing, let it get nice and moldy, and you'll have a great addition. Like I said, you can use this for mulch on top of your garden to keep away weeds, and also it will go into the soil slowly. Just make sure that you're not covering any seedlings or any plants that you planted from the year before. And also, if you have like a shrub, don't put the leaves right on top of it because that might cause it not to bloom as well or to grow. Or you could just mix it right into your soil, like compost. And a lot of people put the leaves also in their compost pile too. So it's really up to you. There's lots of videos also if you're interested in putting the leaves more in like a compost pile or just in the ground type of thing. So you could take a look at that. But I hope that this video helped you. It can save you some money on mulch because you know you're going to have leaves falling down. And it's also just a fun project to do after raking. Well, I am exhausted. I'm pooped because I raked the whole yard. Even though it almost looks like I didn't rake. It still looks like it has leaves on it. But I'll have to do more tomorrow. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be coming at you with more gardening videos to come. Alright, bye everybody!